frames, and the architecture of consciousness. How unconscious systems silently shape what we see, think, and feel, by Bernard Baars. A frame is a relatively enduring system that shapes conscious experience, access, and control without itself becoming conscious. The range of such contextual framing influences is simply enormous. In knowing the visual world, we routinely assume that light shines from above. As a result, when we encounter an ambiguous scene, such as a photograph of a moon crater, we tend to interpret them as bumps rather than hollows when the sun's rays come from the bottom of the photo. The assumed direction of the light is unconscious, of course, but it profoundly influences our conscious visual experience. There are many cases like this in language perception and production, in thinking, memory access, action control, and the like. The contrasts between unconscious systems that influence conscious events and the conscious experiences themselves provide demanding constraints on any theory of conscious experience. Theoretically, frames can be treated as coalitions of unconscious specialized processors that are already committed to a certain way of processing their information and which have ready access to the global workspace of the brain. Thus, they can compete against or cooperate with incoming global messages. There is no arbitrariness to the ready global access frames are presumed to have. Privileged access to the global workspace simply results from a history of cooperation and competition with other frames, culminating in a hierarchy of frame stacks that dominate normal access to the global workspace. Frames can also sometimes be treated not as a thing, but as a relationship. We may want to say that the assumption that the light comes from above is framed with respect to the perception of concavity in photographs of the moon craters, or that a certain implicit moral framework is framed with respect to one's feelings of self-esteem. In some models, a frame is a process or a relation event, part of the functioning of the network that may never be stated explicitly. There is no need to become fixated on whether a frame is a thing or a relationship. In either case, contextual framing information is something unconscious that profoundly shapes whatever becomes conscious.